East Podcast, WATP.
Patrick Michael, the last time we checked in with him, he was doing a live stream and his music wasn't working and no one could hear it. And he quit on the spot. He's like, fuck, what am I even doing? Fuck this. I'm done with this. Took his ball, went home. We don't know what's happened to him since then.
He was already home, but.
Correct. He's always home. So then it's bizarre because I get a note from Cardiff, who just happened to hear, you know, he does that show called Don't Leave It to the Judges, the MMA show he does with his buddy over there.
Right.
And somehow they start talking about Stuttering John and me in the middle of this episode. And Cardiff just stumbled upon it because no one listens to the show. So apparently he's kind of put himself into our world a little bit. Patrick Michael has.
All right, enough about these guys.
Yeah, man, you got me all turned on to this. Now
they're talking about Kevin Brennan at this point. I guess they were talking about Kevin Brennan, Matthew Perry, that whole controversy.
All right, enough about these guys.
Yeah, man, you got me all turned on to this. Now I got to turn this shit off. I got this thing here. New York man charged with sexual abuse of cows, and they photoshopped Carl's face in the picture.
He's doing his thing. I'm not mad at him.
Oh, you know, he was bragging so much about the meme that he made of the guy from that group that punched him in the face, the Misfits. Fuck him. Anyway. All right, let's talk about some MMA.
Interesting. So they're talking about the whole saga we have with the Misfits, is something that we talked about 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
And wasn't it on a bonus
WATP.
episode?
It was. I did end up putting it out later on a normal episode. So maybe that's what they're talking about. But these guys are all in.
Yeah.
They pretend to not be.
Isotopes versus the Misfits in the Octagon.
Well, right, yeah, there you go.
About fighting because it's an MMA show.
It works with their show. So Patty yesterday put out a brand new episode of Free Water. And somehow I get brought up right away. And it just seems to come out of nowhere. I'm not even really sure what they're talking about. But you know, like when Patty starts his show, he's already got all this stuff going on in his head. And he just starts ranting, and you have to like wait to figure out what exactly he's ranting about.
Yeah.
What he's upset about.
So you can keep that big Mike energy over there, right? All these guys trying to be Logan Paul's Big Mike if Logan Paul was Carl. You know what I mean? But then also Carl wants to be Big Mike to Anthony Cumia. I don't know much about Dick Masterson other than he's a fucking slug.
Okay, I don't know why you brought him up then. He just immediately comes out and he's talking about Big Mike, who's on Impulsive with Logan Paul and they're buddies, and he's like the, I don't know, co-host or sidekick or whatever you want to call it.
He's the funny one.
So then he's saying all these other guys in the Dabbleverse are trying to do that for me, but I'm doing that for Anthony, and Dick Masterson's a slug. And so far I'm just like, okay, I heard my name, so I'm listening, but I'm not really following what's going on. And then what happens next took me by surprise. I brought on a special guest to join us today. Hackride, joining WATP.
What is going on? How is everyone, Carl? Thank you for having me back. It's about time.
Yeah,
it took you so
Hackride,
long.
great to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us today. I didn't give you a ton of notice. I just heard Patty Seacup's talking about you, and I went, why is he talking all this shit about Hackride? So I thought I'd bring you on to react to some of these clips that I have.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me and making me sit through that torturous music contest.
How dare you?
That was terrible.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Hello, Andy and Chris. It is good to see you.
Hello.
Lucy. Nice tits.
Thank you.
Heckride's new avatar is very off-putting.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's new. It's not what I'm used to.
Steven's killing it.
Unexpected.
Your face is off-putting.
No.
Yeah, Hackride figured out that.
Yes, back to this little punk.
Putting on his costume and doing like his eye makeup and everything. He's like, this is too much
It's got to
work.
be a lot easier.
Yeah,
right?
he's got to find a filter.
Yes, I didn't feel like doing blackface today. No blackface today.
Not a blackface day. Fair enough. All right, let's check it out. What Patty was saying here.
There's this new guy, Hackride. I don't know if you've seen this. He's really getting after John. You know what I mean? Simply following the trends like a fucking lemming. I mean, that's what they are. They're not fucking sheep anymore, man. These people are lemmings. They just do exactly what they see everybody else do and think for some reason they're going to do it better. You're copying. You're doing the same shit that people 10 times better than you are already doing. It's ugly, it's boring, it's uninteresting, it's unoriginal. Try harder, dude. Just because you came up with a cool name sitting on the shitter one day, you decided, hey, we're gonna run this motherfucker into the ground for sure. Let's call this the Hackride. Well, we go and we talk about hacks.
Okay. So let's talk about.
Is that what you talk about?
So much to unpack, Carl.
I know there's a lot to talk about already. Now, I want to bring up, and I don't know your whole backstory, Hackride, so I want to get into that. But I was introduced to you from the Blind Mike Project, and you were more targeting Ray DeVito than you were Stuttering John, if I'm not mistaken.
Still hate him. Oh, God, I still hate him. Okay. Nothing's changed there.
All right, so what the fuck is he talking about here? He's saying that you have latched on to the Stuttering John thing. People 10 times funnier than you are doing it, and that you keep your name on the shitter. What say you, Hackride?
Oh, well, Carl, much like the Native Americans when first laying eyes on the white devil from Europe and their mysterious boomsticks, the simple-minded sometimes look at the advanced as magic. Patty can't understand this. Either way, an ant can't understand a Mozart concerto because he'd first have to understand what a fucking human mental illness was. You see, he can't get past the first layer, right? Originality is a magic trick to Patty.
I see, because he's saying that you're like everybody else, which I thought was a weird angle to take.
Yes, well, I hope so. The people I'm following are pretty successful in buying houses in Florida. Yeah, I'm going to follow them.
Who, Stuttering John? I heard he bought a house.
Well, all of you. Yeah, all of you, but morely you, yes.
All right. So the Hackride name.
Yes.
He thinks this is like a roller coaster that you've created. Is that true?
This is a man deep in research who didn't look like 3 pages into any of my social media. Hackride has been around since the 90s. It was a college fraternity friend of mine. His nickname was Hackride because he was high energy and just a weirdo. And then I used it as a musical name since like 2004. So yes, I just invented it, dummy.
Okay. I'm glad we're getting to the bottom of this because he's going to repeat a lot of these things and really let you have it. But
I'm very clippable, Carl.
yes. Did you listen to this episode, Hackride?
Yes.
Were you
I have
surprised?
so many notes.
Okay, good. Were you surprised that Patty Brokenskull was talking shit about you?
No.
Oh,
no.
you've had interactions?
These people, here's why. It is like this. There are 2 kinds of people in creative worlds. There are the planets, and then there are the suns. The planets need energy. They need to get close to something hot. The suns, we don't need you. I sit out here and burn like a motherfucker all day long. And then these little planets, they come up near me, and I burn them away. So that is what it is. I don't need you. You need me.
Is that how solar systems work? That suns burn planets away?
Yeah.
I'm a demon, not a scientist.
Good point.
I do have a real question, though. Did you go after Patrick Michael in any way that would prompt him to do this? Yeah, what the fuck is his problem?
I was going after John because John's an idiot, and even more, I'm going after Muttering Jay because that's John. And Muttering Jay is John. I'm going to say it here. It's John. It's been confirmed.
I don't think it is. You think it's been confirmed because Muttering Jay actually does research, photoshops. I don't think that's John.
Oh, I have a whole theory. He's Rain Man with the trolling. He's like, you remember that episode of South Park when the dad was like a master troll and no one knew? That's John. The one thing he knows how to do, he's an idiot savant. Except sometimes the idiot leaks into the savant and we catch him. He's everyone.
Hackride.
He's everyone everywhere all the time. Anyone that supports John is John.
Hackride, you can certainly spew this theory other places. I'm going to tell you right now, I know you're wrong. I know you're 100% wrong about this.
Show us the receipts then, Carl.
I will.
If you know, show the receipts.
I'm
what are you so
close.
afraid of?
I'm getting close. I will be showing receipts soon.
Are you afraid of this little mutt with no power?
No.
Come on.
Do I seem afraid of him? No. But this is what I'm going to tell you, though. Right.
Come on, Carla.
All right. What just happened? I had him on as a guest. This idea that Stuttering John, because I thought this too for a little while. I was like, he can't be this dumb. He's got to be more than just what we see. No, John is exactly what we see. He is specifically when him and Carter were talking about his alcoholism yesterday. It was one of the funniest things. We finally figured out what he tips. I don't know if you saw this. All right, now you got me off on a Stuttering John thing, but give me 1 second, then we'll get back on this. You don't have to be making noise all the time, Hackride. It's okay. So we were talking about, John says he spends $50 at the pub every day. And he goes, because they were doing it later, they went on at 6:30 Eastern time rather than the regular 3. And John goes, well, this helps me to stay away from the pub. And Cardiff goes, well, you don't have to be podcasting to not go to the pub. John goes, no, that's where all my friends are. I go there every day and spend $50. Cardiff goes, well, that seems like a lot. He goes, well, no, you don't understand. I tip a lot, though. So then he spells it out. There's more math. Get ready for this.
Okay.
The beers are $6. He'll have 5 beers.
Okay.
He goes, I always tip $10.
Okay.
And so Cardiff goes, will you $10 per beer? He goes, no. $10 at the end. So if I have 5 beers, it'll be $30. I'll tip 10 on top of that, and it'll become $40.
Okay.
So $2 a beer. And then he was praising himself for being a great tipper. And I was like, that's actually kind of standard to tip a couple bucks for a draft beer.
Yeah, that's not generous.
That's not generous at all. And he was trying to pretend like he's the most generous guy.
Yeah, it's not noteworthy.
No, not at all. But he was trying to say, sometimes I get food. So he's trying to justify why $50 a day that he spends at the pub. I was there with a chick. I spent 120, so I average it all out. It was so bizarre.
I gotta say, Carl, I recently had a burger at Pickwick, and it was worth it. I gotta say, it was worth it. He
Really?
wasn't there, but I told the bartender to say, tell John someone was here for him.
No, that was not you, Hackride. Don't even say that.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
We'll never know. Oh, someone just reminded me in the chat. That was the other thing. When Cardiff goes, well, Cardiff is here. I should probably bring him on since we're talking about this real quick. And then I got to get back to Patrick Michael.
Coward.
I got to get back to Patrick Michael after this. Cardiff.
Coward.
Oh, are you guys not friends?
No, the army of
We're
cowards.
both cowards.
They're in the army of cowards.
We're the army of
Oh,
cowards.
right. Because you're all hiding behind your...
No, me and Hackride are
filters.
using the same AI to generate each other, so we can't speak at the same time.
Okay, that
This
makes
is going to
sense.
blow a lot of people's minds right now, man. I'm telling you.
Have you guys been
one of
seen
us.
in the same screen at the same time before?
This is one of those.
Yes.
What was that Sesame Street thing? Never mind.
Big Bird? What do you
Way to contribute, Carver.
Big Bird is
Way to come in and
Snuffleupagus.
do
That's it.
I see.
We're the same puppets.
So...
I have a delay on my voice. Cardiff has a delay on his comedy.
So Cardiff brings up to John that it's not necessarily. John goes, I'm not an alcoholic, just gonna go to the pub every day. And Cardiff goes, well, it's not great that you go to the pub every day. And John goes, what about Cheers? I swear to God, what about Cheers, a sitcom from the 80s? It's John's justification. Those guys all had full-time jobs.
That makes sense. He thinks cameras are on
He is
him
Cliff
all the time.
Clavin. He is Cliff Clavin.
Cardiff goes, yeah.
Cliff Clavin has a real job, though.
My God.
That's right.
Cardiff's like, Norm probably should have been in rehab.
Yes.
Cliff Clavin could have just dressed up like a mailman and showed up at the bar. That's something John would do.
That's something John should do.
Cardiff, real quick while I have you here, and we'll bring you back To Catch an Alien. But I just wanted to ask you, what is going on with this live show March 10th? Because, and you didn't press John on it, and I understand why you didn't, but John kept saying, if this show happens,
I
might
asked
do
him
this.
twice why he's saying if.
Yeah.
No, I asked him. He every time I brought up the March 10th show yesterday, he blew past it. He ignored it. He changed the subject, read a super chat. He is worrying me, but he just announced on his show today. I think he's mad at me again. So
It ain't happening. That show ain't fucking happening.
I don't think, you know
Just do
what?
DabbleCon 2 and just do it.
I don't think it's happening either, but I refuse to make it DabbleCon 2. I'm not inviting people to Rochester in March for our show. I was mad at Vinny when he booked John in March. Like, stop bringing people to Rochester in March. God damn it. No one wants to be here in the wintertime.
This is what I was hoping was going to happen, where it would fall apart
or ever.
soon enough to plan something better.
Well, that is what's going to happen.
Good.
Because it seems like John's backing out. He's trying every angle he can to back out without being the guy who backs out and get calls out.
He is doing the Homer Simpson meme straight out of Rochester.
Yes.
I almost think he was expecting me to really go after him yesterday to give him a reason to back out, but I did not give him a reason. I got close.
So
But I did not.
he thinks he's friends with Vince the Lawyer again, which is shocking to me because Vince the Lawyer has turned on him so many fucking times.
Not friends. He's hiring him for
That's right.
some type of lawsuit that's coming down the pike.
That's right. Yeah, I think Vinny Paulino is going to be sued for every hoagie he's got. So
It's a lot of hoagies.
it's a lot of hoagies. Watch
That is a
out.
lot.
He's definitely nervous about it. All right, let's get back to Patty. Cardiff, we'll talk to you in a minute. Wugga.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get back to this weirdo with the Logan Paul fetish.
Yes, let's get back to that. So he's talking about, he was complaining about these people that he has to block. But then he goes into a conversation about how he also trolls people that have to block him. It's so bizarre because I don't know if he even realizes that he's the person he hates.
You know what I do? I simply shut them off. Instead of constantly saying things to them like Bilal Muhammad or who's the other guy? Colby Covington, Dylan Dennis. You know, these are guys that I was attacking on Twitter at a kind of constant rate. Everything they posted, I had something to say about it. Eventually does get to a point where you're like, fuck this. I don't care enough. They don't care enough. I'm good.
All right. So Patrick Michael goes on and harasses people on Twitter to the point where he bores himself.
Yeah.
They don't even block him. They're just like, whatever, this fucking guy, who cares?
It would just be torturous not to be creative. I don't know what that world is like, but that's like a prison I don't understand.
He calls you out.
For you, Patrick.
He calls you out for not being creative quite a bit, which is interesting. So
Clearly, no creativity happening.
yeah,
over
I
there.
know.
No.
So this is him talking about how when people get blocked by guys like Chad Zumach, they feel like that's a victory for them.
Even people that I follow or follow me love this thing. They love this idea of, well, I told Chad Zumach he was a fat fucking mud shark. He blocked me. I win. Yeah, but do you win? What'd you win?
So I do see people when they get blocked by John or Chad Zumach, they'll post that they're blocked, but usually it's because they said something very tame. And these pussies with their real thin skin just are on a blocking spree. And it's like, dude, you talk so much shit all over the internet. All these guys do. And then someone says one thing to them, like, block. So I think that's what people are referring to when they post those things. All right. You guys want to see Patty fired up?
They're baby Stut Joes. He's a baby Stut Joe in the making.
Yes.
And they always tell on themselves. Like, I'm starting to think that old Adam West Batman thing was real, where they dangle over the hot oil and tell you their entire plan before they do it. I thought that was just bullshit, but all these baby Stut Joes and Stut Joe, they tell you their plan. Why do
They
you do
can't help
that?
themselves. They can't help themselves. So this is something we don't hear very often. This is Patty fired up.
It's a little different when you got all these people that are claiming so and so is a hack, but nobody knows who the fuck you are. Who the fuck are you? Who are you to claim that somebody's a hack? You're no one. You are nobody. You are a zero. You literally are a zero. You have your opinion means nothing. You're just another guy. Okay? You're just another guy doing the same shit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's really what needs to happen. A lot of motherfuckers just need to shut the fuck up. Shut your stupid fucking little girl mouth. Shut up, dude. You're not. And the motherfucker, the only thing that I quote tweeted this guy on because I can't stand him was him claiming to want to make a wager with Stuttering John on who gets mentioned on fucking the Howard Stern show, as if anybody gives a fuck. You must be old as shit, dude. It goes so deep. This guy starts this channel called Hackride. He starts talking shit about specifically Stuttering John, and then he's making a wager on whether or not him or Stuttering John gets mentioned on Howard Stern. You must be ancient. You must be old as fuck.
No.
Yes. And I stick to that wager. Oh, I'm juicing Wendy up, baby. Wendy, she is so liquored up with Hackride that she's going to walk into there and just spill it all over the place. And I will win that bet, and I will have to laugh at Stuttering John. But I am old. I'm a Gen Xer. The thing you need to learn about us Gen Xers, Patty C-Cup, is that we don't care if you call us old. We came from the coolest generation ever, one that all of you motherfuckers are still trying to find and repeat. Guess what? Can't do it. So yes, I'm from that. I saw Nirvana as a teenager. You can't have that.
I saw Nirvana as a teenager too. So I guess Hackride and I have that in
Carl
common.
knows.
I get it.
They're just trying to repeat what we did. You can't, and I'm so sorry for that. And by the way, I don't know if you're going to play it, but he says the magic words in here. 4 magic words that erase everything he says. He says, or come after me.
Yes, I do
So
have
everything
that.
that we're doing is bullshit, or we go after him and it's great. What
Yes.
do you think is going on with this little Stut Joe?
So
baby Stut Joe. We got a baby Stut Joe.
What's happening here is Patrick. We haven't talked about Patrick Michael a lot. He's doing these live shows. No one's showing up. He's not getting a lot of attention. So he put out this episode. He does this, every few months, maybe a couple times a year, where he goes, I don't care. I don't want to be part of this Dabbleverse. I don't give a shit. And so we're like, yeah, we don't give a shit either. And he's like, oh, come on, guys. What the fuck? Make fun of me.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah, don't forget about me over here.
We've seen the phases of Patty.
Of course.
The ebb and flow.
Yeah. So
he is also being a lemming by bringing up Stut Joe over and over.
Yeah.
But at least Stuttering John had the balls to enter the Dabbleverse and interact with the people that were his enemies. Patrick Michael, I can't see doing that. He doesn't have the...
He talks about it all the time. He doesn't want to. But then in this episode, he says
He wants
he'll
the
email
attention,
you
though.
or he'll show it up face to face.
Yeah, it says face to face on the computer.
Wait, what?
That's not
All
what
the
that
shit
is.
he never does now.
Dude, he would be invited on every single show.
He was invited on the Anthony Cumia show, for Christ's sake. I know so many people who would love that opportunity. He's just like, pass.
I don't see how he can say this shit on his show and just pass on all of the opportunities that are put in front of him, only to the point that he just can't compete.
Correct.
In that arena.
That's what it comes down to, is that Patrick Michael wants to get all this money. He looks at our Patreon. He's like, oh, I want to be making all this money doing podcasts, and that looks like an amazing lifestyle. But he can't.
Right.
He can't hang. He knows he can't hang. That's why he runs away scared, starts new channels all the time. I'm not going to be able to get to all these clips today because I do have to bow out early today. We'll play him on Saturday on this weekend show because
I curse you.
He has once again started another new channel.
Yeah.
He's got another new idea for another new show.
Really happy about it.
Oh, yeah. He's all excited about it. It's like, dude, stick
a
with
young Bob
one
Levy.
fucking channel. Jesus Christ. He's finally got almost 1,000 people on one of his channels, and he ran away scared again because he can't fucking hang. What were you saying, Hackride?
I said he's a young Bob Levy. So many channels, so many ideas. Just finish one. Don't call me so late, Bob. I like the beach. Leave me alone.
All right.
I listened to this free water while I was at work. I just want to jump to the end and say that this is how he wraps it up.
Let's have a silly goose time.
He says that he's just a guy
who
you should just check in with him and have a silly goose time after this
You
rant.
should love me.
Oh, so this is him going pretty hard at Hackride here.
Now, realistically, your show and everything about you is the Hackride. Does that make sense? You're the hacky ride, bitch. Everything you're doing is hack. Nothing original about your shit whatsoever. What, because you said you used the word hack and put it together with a roller coaster? Now all of a sudden we're supposed to take you seriously? Shut the fuck up and sit down. You're no one.
Where's he
I'm
going with this
sitting down.
fucking roller coaster thing? I don't know. Is that the only
It's
ride?
a ride, yeah.
That's not what I'm thinking of when I think of ride.
Yeah, me neither.
No, this man has never had sex except for the breeding of his children. He does not know what a ride is. He's never had good sex. I'll tell you that.
I think there was a turkey baster involved even when that happened.
Yes.
All right. So then he goes on and explains what he could be doing, but he's not going to do it.
If I started just talking shit about Stuttering John on Twitter, started social media accounts dedicated to being or pretending to be Carl, there's like 5 or 6 different people that I could target and pretend to be them on social media to make fun of them somehow. But at the same time, I don't stoop to that level. And I'm also not a 55-year-old guy. I just think it's fucking gay. I think that shit's gay. It's the dumbest, most boring, fucking unoriginal, just uncreative, corny shit, dude. Corny as fuck. Like, I'll talk shit to you, no fucking problem, through my exact accounts. I don't need to pretend to be somebody else.
No, you won't. You turn off the comments. You don't want people DM you. You run away if any account gets kind of popular. He's lying. He's making this up. He's just like, I'm a tough guy. I'll fucking hang with anyone. It's like, no, you were invited on the Dick Show Sunday at noon, and you said, I can't do that.
I don't need to do anything extra. I will talk shit to you face to face, on the computer, via email, on the phone, however you want to fucking do it. Hackride is exactly what it is. He's not putting a bunch of people onto a roller coaster to ride down this trip that takes you amongst all these hacks, right? The hack ironically, is the person that's taking you on the journey.
In his mind, he's going to Cedar Point, and there's a new roller coaster called Hackride.
And I just want Hackride. I want you to know I would ride that.
Yeah, I'm getting in line for Hackride. That sounds like fun.
It's like Willy Wonka of storytelling over here. I didn't really catch much of what he was saying because you put the tits right next to me, man. I can't stop staring at him. You said my name a couple times, but those tits, my God.
Eyes are darting back and forth right now.
I'm just saying, in a world of TikTok where cat videos and people falling out of their chairs is creating content, I don't know how you can look at what Hackride is doing. Like, that's actual creativity and creating content.
The videos that he makes for Blind Mike Project. Now, forgive him for his appearance on Who Are These Socials and his appearance today. He puts together amazing content that is well thought out. It's crazy shit, but there's tons of animations. It's well written. There's AI voices. Hackride does some crazy shit on the internet. It's the last guy to be calling out for not being creative.
I don't understand where he's coming from.
He doesn't understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
No,
he doesn't know.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
I told you. I told you. To him, it's a magic trick. So he grabs his metaphoric spears and runs into the jungle to fight an F-16. That's what's going on here.
Yes, I think you're right about that. So Patty obviously wants attention again. That's the whole point of this episode that he dropped. And Free Water is the only show people listen to, so he knew he had to go on Free Water, do this episode, ask for attention again. And I could have been a jerk and ignored it, but listen, I like Patty. I like this business. I like this whole thing that we're doing.
And then they go after a motherfucker who's in his 60s like Stuttering John. Y'all are pathetic. It's the most weak shit, bro. Go after Logan Paul. Go after Jake Paul and his fucking gay-ass fans. Do that. Or fucking come after me.
I did.
Right there.
I've done that.
We've done all of that.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, that's what he really wants. Come after me. Something he's told us not to do on numerous occasions. This guy wants a subreddit dedicated to goofing on him, is what it comes down to.
Pattyverse.
Yes.
Patty's
He just
anonymous.
wants
Patty's
this to
anonymous.
take on so bad.
He's so jealous of the attention that all the other lol cows are getting. He's like, remember he was like, I'm not a lol cow. And I was like, why am I not a lol cow? What happened?
I like that he was like,
Because it's perfect.
I like that
It's
he was
no
like,
work. You don't
Yeah, I
do
know.
any work at all.
True.
he was like, stop picking on somebody your own size. Come pick on me.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
the little guy here.
Yeah, he's calling all of us old. And then he's
Yeah.
like, and you're goofing on this guy who's 60 years old? Well, yeah, I grew up with Stuttering John. We all know him from the Howard Stern show, dummy. He's like, how do you guys even know who this guy is?
They choose to go out of their way and be like, oh, I'm going to go after this 60-year-old guy who happened to work with Jay Leno and Howard Stern. First of all, how do you even know about this guy?
How do you not?
How do you know Stuttering John exists? You must
just
be
said his
old as
name.
fuck. And on top of that, you must be old as fuck to care. Because it's like, oh, I'm going to go after a guy who had a mediocre career on the radio or on TV and make fun of him because he's trying to make a comeback in podcasting. But look at everybody else, bitch. If it wasn't for podcasting, Bobby Lee wouldn't have a career. Okay? So you can't go and make fun of one guy for doing the same thing that everybody else has done and been successful at, and he's minorly successful. What's to make fun of?
So he does not understand.
What?
He's going after us, but he's not paying attention to what we're talking about or why John's fascinating, why the Dabbleverse exists. He knows about it. But he's like, oh, this is just another
Yes.
guy like Bobby Lee who didn't have a career anymore and started the podcast. It's not.
It's the difference between a has-been like John and a never was like Patty.
Right.
That's why people know who John is. He's a has-been.
And his saying like, oh, I don't know who Howard Stern is, but these guys know who John Mendelsohn, the producer of the Jesus Twins, was. Well, you know too, dickhead. You're like, I saw this guy at the gay club. Well, you're at the gay club too. You saw me because you're there.
Yes, good point. Yeah. So this whole thing where he's going, he tries to pretend that we would make fun of anybody who used to have a career and now is trying to do a podcast on YouTube the same way we make fun of John. It's just not the case. Have we made fun of Bobby Lee? Yeah, he's good for a segment or two. I can get an episode out of him. Stuttering John is a fucking career. You don't understand how bonkers this guy actually is and how bad he is at podcasting. That's why we make fun of him. Like Kevin Brennan tries to do this thing where he's dismissing Sheila. He's like, oh, why don't you go back and make fun of a guy for stuttering? It's like, you're purposely missing the point. No one's goofing on John for stuttering. That's not what we're that was what people laughed about in 1989. That was the funny thing about John. But we're way past that now. Now he's a drunken buffoon. And we're all
There's a
goofing on it.
famous saying that says, Stuttering John isn't a businessman, he's a businessman. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, correct. So this is really funny because I got to pull out my hypocrisy police shirt on this one.
99% of you are only watching maybe a minute's worth of the video before you leave a comment or a dislike, so therefore you're not even taking in the substance to make a proper judgment. At least have the wherewithal as an adult, as a grown-up person to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should ingest a little bit more of this before I say something stupid.
Yeah. This is you were just going after Hackride because you said that he created his whole persona while sitting on the shitter, deciding to go after Stuttering John and create a roller coaster. And he's doing a whole episode about that. He's just like, and all these assholes are barely watching any content and they're goofing on it. You're one of those assholes, dummy. How does he not realize that?
Yes, and here it just goes back to his research. Just like go back a little bit because you want proof these people, they don't listen. Uninformed opinions. I doxed myself on episode 8 of my show. Casey fucking Day. Everyone knows who I am now. I'm not behind a mask. He doesn't even know that. These are like Japan people listening to 80s music. Catch up.
Japan people. Those stupid Japan people.
I've heard of them.
So people are still paying attention to Patrick Michael, including the great Sea Moose, who had a voicemail for you, Hackride.
Hey, great Sea Moose here. Hoy hoy. I just listened to Free Water, and I need to know if you can check on Hackride for me, because I don't know how he's possibly going to recover from the merciless beating he just received from, Penny's broken skull. But I love Hackride so much. I wish he were my dad. Actually, does Hackride need a new dad? Hey, if Hackride's listening, I have an idea. I have a proposition for you. How do you feel about being each other's dads? Anyway, call me back.
What do you think, Hackride?
I'm going to be the top dad. I'd like to be the top dad.
Yeah.
I will do it if I get to be the top dad.
Sounds like
and you
the
shave. I like
come
it smooth.
town.
Be smooth, and I will be the top dad.
It sounds like the great Sea Moose would be okay with that, from what I'm hearing.
Who are these podcasts?